Important disclaimer and viewer notice. This is an international broadcast intended for a mature audience, 18+. It is designed for global horse racing enthusiasts, particularly those in jurisdictions outside of India. This content may be of special interest to attendees at the live event. Important notice for viewers in India. Please be advised that this content is not intended for your jurisdiction and may conflict with local laws. Please read the following carefully before proceeding. 1. Purpose of this channel: an academic exercise in risk analysis. This live stream is a purely educational and informational broadcast. Our focus is on the academic exploration of handicapping methodologies, statistical data analysis, and the principles of risk assessment. Crucially, our analytical framework does not assess the probability of winning. Instead, our entire focus is on identifying and evaluating the potential for financial loss and the inherent risks associated with each variable. This is an intellectual simulation designed to teach a disciplined, risk-first approach to analyzing the science of horse racing. The live format of this stream is essential to this analytical mission. A spreadsheet alone provides only a static, quantitative snapshot. A complete and rigorous risk assessment requires the inclusion of dynamic, real-time variables. These include qualitative observations from the paddock, the physical condition and behavior of the horses, last-minute changes in weather and ground conditions, and the strategic decisions made by jockeys during the race. Therefore, the use of a live race feed is for the strict purpose of data collection and model validation. It allows us to test our pre-race statistical analysis against the reality of the live event, which is a critical part of the educational process. 2. No betting advice or inducement. A firm policy. This channel does not provide betting tips, financial advice, or picks. The content is not intended to induce, encourage, or promote any form of wagering or participation in online money games, which may be prohibited by your local laws. Any analysis is a theoretical exercise and must not be interpreted as a recommendation to place a bet. 3. Strictly independent, supported by viewers. The host of this channel is fully independent. We have no affiliation, partnership, or financial relationship with any bookmaker, wagering platform, or any other entity in the gaming industry. Our analysis and content are not sponsored or influenced by any outside entity. This channel is made possible through the voluntary support of our viewers via YouTube's official features, Super Chat, etc. All contributions support our educational mission, and our content will always remain free and accessible. 4. Community Code of Conduct. Fostering analytical discussion. We encourage an intelligent discussion focused on the science of racing. Encouraged. Sharing your thoughts and analysis on the race or any horse, focusing on data, strategy, or observed risks. Prohibited. Discussing personal bets, encouraging others to bet, requesting tips, or sharing links to wagering sites. Violation of these rules will result in comment deletion and a potential ban. 5. Viewer responsibility, legal compliance. You, the viewer, are solely responsible for your own actions and for understanding and complying with all laws in your jurisdiction. This channel and its host assume absolutely no liability for any financial losses or legal consequences. By continuing to watch this stream, you acknowledge that you have read, understood, and agree to these terms. You confirm that your purpose for watching is to learn from our methods of live data analysis and the critical study of factors that influence race outcomes.
Good morning. Today is 17th of December 2025, and we are going to be doing some analytics today here at Warwick Farm. Now, this thing is in New South Wales. This track is in New South Wales. The shape of the track is triangle. This usually is a difficult proposition in itself. The triangle shaped track, they have a very difficult geometry, and across all the tracks, when we do our analysis, one thing is common, that these tracks, they behave very, very differently than the other tracks that we have done our analysis on. So the triangle shape definitely is one of the biggest problems here. The last finishing mile is about 326 or 27, something on those lines. And the ground reading is good. Last time I checked. So we are here. We will see what we can do here. There are 6 races today here, and we'll figure out what is going on with those 3 races. We'll all the 6 races here. Welcome to Grandstand, and we do horse racing analysis, and we do that in 2 steps. First, we try and identify the best horses through physics, mathematics, a little bit of understanding of horse racing. And once we have identified the best horses, that's when we take a look at the horses at the paddock or at the gates when we get the live stream from the paddock or the gates. If we find that all the horses that we have chosen are looking good and good to go with, we wait for the results to validate them. But if we find that there are better horses at the paddock and there are circumstantial changes or there are architectural problems, we often highlight them, and that's more or less what we do. So we'll start with the first race today here at Warwick Farm. This is a maiden 1300 meter. We'll see the odds and we'll take a note of that, and the scratchings, of course. 5, 9, 10, and 11 has been scratched. 5, 9, 10, and 11 are not there. Odds are 12, 3, 8, and 4. 12, 3, 8, and 4. 12, 3, 8, and 4. All right, so before we jump in with anything, let me explain what was happening and what are the changes that we've done. What's exactly are the updates, because we keep updating the system in redefining the logics. So initially what we were doing is we were handling certain numbers here, DLR, right? In this particular section, what we were handling is basically how is the sectional temperature on these horses. So when we if the temperature is temperature is like a technical word that I'm using, but in layman's language, higher the number it is, better it is. All right, that is what we were calculating. Now what we have done is we have included in this particular section, we have included the base leverage which the horse has gotten from the base level. All right, not just last 2-3 races which we were calculating here. From the base level, what exactly is the leverage that it has got. And then what we are doing is we are channelizing it. So 0, 0 means they are the highest leverages. All right, and then that's also calculated. When we go down, anything negative usually means that it may not have the leverage, but that's when we have to check with the class and the rating. All right, if the rating is high and the class is the same, then this becomes an advantage. So for this thing to work, they have to be above the class or of the class. They have to be of the same class. Now, when we are rendering this, there are still certain constraints that we need to be aware of. There are things that we are still not able to manage here yet. The things like, track specific gate advantage or disadvantage. So we know there is a track specific gate advantage and disadvantage. Like in Sandown, wider gates do not work, but in Randwick that usually is not an issue. What we are doing is we are calculating that also through the BL, and we get to see where the advantage lies. Okay, but so far what was happening is we were looking at the pressure module. We were looking at the leverage of the last few races. The base model I added later on, and we were trying to calculate it manually, right? So like this one is one of the highest leverage, is the base pressure is this, that's the rating, that makes it a linear. So we were calculating that, but here what it will show is basically the advantage over the leverage. So if they are the highest leverages, what is the advantage? They have no advantage because they are from the challenging class. Okay, they are from the challenging class. Now we look at the gate numbers, they are also wide. This one is from the challenging class. It doesn't have the pressure model on the leverage. Instead, it is a very high rated horse. Out of these three, it is a very high rated horse, and it comes with an advantage. Okay, so that's the concept. It might sound a little complicated to begin with, but numbers are usually complicated. But once we start working with this should give us a little more understanding of, I mean, we are almost there. I think we are able to get the top 4, top 3 on any given day. But what is happening in the contrary is we are not able to pinpoint exactly how the order should be. Is it rating, leverage, jockey, gate? So this will solve a lot of problem. We need to follow this for some time, and we will see. This is rating, but it is not. This is a high rating, but not of the class. The class are all the green ones. Now, in the green ones, we need to look for the right gate and the right advantage with the right rating, with the right jockey. So there are quite a few variables which still needs to be compiled and rendered. So we will do that, but we have reached so far in so many days. In 2 years, we have reached here, so we will reach there as well. It's just a matter of time. So the odds are 12, 3, 4, and 8. Now we look at 12. 12 is the right. Out of these three, 12 is the right odd, right? Out of these three. Now the others are, now we have to look at class, and we have to look at advantage, and we have to look at the pressure model, because the physics will play. Okay, so obviously 8 is the linear, which has been identified with the highest pressure model. All that is good. The jock is there, fair enough, but it comes from gate number 7. This one comes from gate number 9. It doesn't have the physics to win, so this one is with advantage over this one. Okay, now the rating is going to prevail. All right, the rating is going to work. So if we look at the rating, and the class, I'm sorry. So the class is going to prevail, and the class is going to work. And so if this 12 wins, actually, which it should, and why it should win. because it is a challenging class. All right, it is not the existing class. The existing class is the green ones. All right, these are the challenging class. So why 12 should win, being a challenging class? Because let's take a look at the DICR from the top. So these are the existing class, right? Now the existing class, let's take a look at what's happening. So the highest out of these is the 1, okay, which is the EW anyway. It has about 75% on the advantage side, but that also brings us to the point that it has got 4 races. It has not done anything in last 4 races. What it will do in this particular race is something which is very uncertain. What it will do. This is the highest. The 42, which is a challenging class. 43 is this one, which has tried to get into a league race also, but it just did not work. For some reason, this horse is behaving a little mulish all over, and it has 4 races, did not do anything in the last 4 races. So what it will do in this particular thing is very uncertain. Now, after this, it is the 6, which is the newcomer, right? It has got no races. If that's 43, then it is 32. That's 35. This is 32. This is 37. So that is the 6. So this one has never raced. This is the first time it is going to open racing. It's a gelding. This one is a 35. They are also bleeding with a management issue, running neutral. So what they will do is difficult to assume. The odds are 12, 3, 8, and 4. So 12, right after that, it is 3. Now, why 3 and how this thing can interfere? So ideally 3 should not win. Ideally 3 should not get to the second position. Ideally it should be either 1, which is with the advantage and the rating. It has not done anything in the last 4 races, or it is here. The base advantage is huge. All right, the 3 is a 32. They are all of the same class. If this is 37, this is 32. If this is 0, this is negative 35, the base advantage. All right, and that's where it belongs. After the 1, which is this one, it is this one in the class section. So if that 12 wins, 6 should come second, if the 1 doesn't interfere and does some magical movement in this particular race today. So we'll see how that works. I think ideally how it should work is ideally it should work 12, 6, 8. Ideally it should work 12, 6, 8. 6 is a check. That 1, we know what it is capable of. It has done 4 races. It has not done anything in the last 4. So the advantage is huge. There's a huge advantage for this particular horse, but very uncertain what it will do. Ideally it should be 12 winning. 6 with the class and advantage will get through. 8 is the next in line with the pressure model. So it should be 3, 4, gate number 3, 4, 7, and then if it falls to 4, that might happen, or 3, that might happen. So we'll see how that works. PC, welcome back, PC. Brilliant wedge today. R raised to 3, raised 3, 1, 6 on 7 Warwick Farm. I have. Man, that's a lot. We'll see how that works. But I think it should work right today, PC. I think it should work right. We are racing here after a long time. Good for you. Good for you that you were not there. I mean, thank God. That was just bad. Something very similar happened here a few months ago in India. We did not speak about that in this channel, but something very similar happened here as well. Kashmir. So anyway, we'll see what's happening. But that's a terrible thing that happened. That's a terrible thing that happened. I saw the full news. I saw the videos made on that. Very sad. Very sad. I don't know why people are. I don't know why. Why? For what joy? Yeah, that man was actually amazing what he did there. He had that's a real man made of steel. That's a real man made of steel. But I sincerely hope these things, they stop happening. It's very disturbing. It's very disturbing, very inhuman. And there's practically no reason for all this, unless, the agenda is kind of little, weird. Uh, I don't know. I don't know uh, how to talk about it. Actually, I'm not prepared for all this, but I mean, honestly speaking, from a layman's point of view, I just think that people should live and let live. Enforcing anything that is, yeah, enforcing anything is a bad picture. That is, God knows how things are, man. I mean, there's a saying here in India, which is like, which is very similar to that English saying that young men die and old men make money out of war. So there are people who have vested interest in this, and there are people who get easily lured into this that they are not aware of. It's heavy and very painful, actually, from all the angles. Anyway, we'll get back to what we do. I'm going to put up the poll. Yeah, Dows, welcome back. And that's not a problem with only your government. That's the entire Western world. That's the entire Western world, and I mean there are. I think I heard the Prime Minister or. I don't remember. I think it was Norway or some of those European countries, very small European country, but they're kind of very clear on their agenda. They're very clear on their agenda. They want to address the reason they've been elected. That's the first priority, and they know what to do. But what you're saying, PC, is not a problem only with Australia. It is a problem with the entire Western world. It's a problem with the entire Western European world. Yeah, the 12 is looking good. Let's see. I mean, I think is the first one we'll also get to experience. We are here after a long time. This particular track, we are here after a long time. Warwick Farm. I think it was somewhere last year that we were here. Things have changed a lot from when we were here the last time. The point is, the triangle shape is definitely a problem, and we'll get a feel of how the track is behaving after maybe the first two races, and we'll be a little more confident. But 12 is looking good. I also think the 6 is probably there. We'll see how it works, but more or less that's what things are. We are very close. Actually, we are very close. It's just that we have a lot of dependencies that needs to be rendered. You know, every track has an advantage or disadvantage through the gates. The jockey is the second biggest problem, which it is there, and then the pressure model. So there are quite a few areas which are there. We know they exist. We identify them, but we don't know how that thing is going to actually end up in the order. So that is something that needs to be worked on. I'm constantly trying to solve this. I hope before I die, we are able to solve this.
Looks close to another win off a good effort last time out at Canterbury.
Yeah, she was good last time. It was a bit of a fence-in run type of day, Marta, which didn't really suit her where she was situated throughout the run. But look, her efforts prior to that were terrific. I think on a more fair track today, out to 2,200 metres, right stage of the preparation. On the home track too, I think she'll go close.
And you've got a special also in race number 6, Amrikia, and it's hard to ignore that Weeping Woman form, obviously.
Yeah, she's gone to a stronger race on the weekend and got the job done. So form looks good. Set to 1400's key today. And look, it's a bit of a D-day for her, but I think she can tick that and go on to better things.
3-year-old maiden kicks us off over the 1,300 metres. Field of 8 here. 7 are trained by Chris Waller, including your top pick, Snitz or Miss. Talented filly chasing her first win at start 5.
It's becoming more and more a thing, isn't it? This thing where Chris Waller has got almost the whole field. I'm not a big fan of it, but it's kind of going with these power stables, Waller and Mar, both becoming bigger and bigger as it seems to go every year. So 4, 7, 8 and 3 here. I'm with Cecil Miss. I think she finds the right type of race to break through. She's a bit disappointing behind Jaegers there at Canterbury last time, but I just think getting to Warwick Farm, the run prior to that behind Plaintiff was good. That horse has gone on and won a Saturday race, and happy to go with the 12 to beat 7. Contemplates, who I thought wasn't a bad roughie here. I didn't mind the trials, and just thought Mum that might improve with the Waller stable now. Of course, the Godolphin horse now to their separate stables. The 8 Harmony Prancer. Like the recent trials, and thought the effort on debut in a heavy 10 was more than sound at Newcastle back in August, and the 3 Jet certainly can improve off that fresh run, but needs to all the same. I thought it was a horse that might have been a shade of unders. 12, 7, 8 and 3, Sinsel Myth's hard to beat, but Contemplate's not hopeless at 23 to 1 there, Marta.
Last 15 minutes with the bookies, every single horse in single figures confirmed. Snitz or Miss, 240, 245 into 225. Jet, 390, 440 back into 420. Hermione Prancer, 440 to 550 back into
Is the first one Dow's?
750
Let's just watch. But I think 6 has a chance.
Horse 2 with Blinkers first time at start 5.
Yeah, look, the effort last time on the Kenzo was solid enough. SP right in the market, so look, should improve off that. Supermassive form prior to that at Canterbury was okay and gets those shades on the first time here.
Launching into Warwick Farm, an early quadding operation.
Though it is running for the first time. It's the debut.
Awful events in Bondi. So black armbands being worn by all riders here on the first of the day. With the gates open now, they're off and racing. Hermie and Prancer jump well, and it's looking for the lead and achieving that with Jet going up to join it. And the pace is really good early. Snitz on this, the favourite goes to a clear third. Then Ichiban Koji, followed by Willie Wonky. On the outside of Garrick's Contemplates, and Concert dropped back to last, about 8 lengths off the lead. So Jet in the front here from Hermie Prancer, and now they steady the speed. The favourite Snitz or Miss, no excuses at the 800 metres, 2 lengths away in the stalking spot. On the outside of Ichiban Koji is wearing blinkers today. 2 after Willie Wongi on the outside of Garrick's, a length to Contemplates, and a length off to Consolar. 600 to go. Jet under a good hold, leads the way by a half length on Hermione Prancer. Now Snitz or Miss has been wound up in third position, and they've opened up a gap on the rest of the field. So it's Jet in front from Herbie and Prancer and 2 for the back to Schnitzel Miss. Into the straight, Jet is still the leader from Herbie and Prancer the outside. Schnitzel Miss in slightly restricted room. Inside the 150, Jet in front. Schnitzel Miss has got the rails run and is getting good chase now. It's Jet in front of Schnitzel Miss. Jet, Schnitzel Miss, Jet, Schnitzel Miss. Jet and O's to Schnitzel Miss. Camera 3,
3.
followed by the Herbie and Prancer and Contemplate. Stand by. I thought there might be just a margin for the outside. Kay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott, the Chris Waller army of 7. Just stand by for a replay. Schnitzel Miss got the rails run and inch by inch was getting closer. Jet just kicking, clinging on, and Jet will win the first. It looks as though Garrix has run the third.
I saw that.
Concert. Stand by for all placings.
3 wins. Clear.
Jet should be named the winner.
Yep, it'll be Jets just from Schnitzel Miss. 1 just third.
312 4-1.
It's ahead of number 4, Concert. Only non-Waller runner in the field. For Waterhouse Spot gets the cash. Jet $1 million.
312 4-1.
Got Zoostar in a Philomene.
B profile there first up, Marto, and look, he was able to hold on and defeat.
The 6 was here.
See whether there was any sort of
1 and 4. 312 1 and 4. 312 1 and 4.
heading into race 2 at Warwick Farm today. There's a tapping venue mode special with Unleashing, a price of $4 there. So if you are in venue, make sure you make use of that. It's a great price there.
It had a bad start. The 12 had a bad start to begin with.
90 currently on the 10 fix. And that's $4 from Maximum Bet. $10.
It was the first one. So what happened? 3 went through from gate number 1. 3, 12, 4, and 1 and 4 actually. So the 1 actually with that advantage that went through. The 6 was not there. This was a tricky one because the 4 races it did not do anything, but the advantage was huge on this horse. 43, 37, 43. But the 3 went through. And why the 3 went through is because of the class and the advantage. $312. Anyway, that happened. We'll go to the next. Two and 8 has been scratched. 7, 1, 3, 4. So like here 12 was the challenger, all right? So 12 was the challenger, and then everybody else were of the class. Here this one is the challenger, and then we have these two horses which are the highest rated. Then comes 4, then this one, then this one. This is actually the lowest, right? This is the challenger in this race, and that's the linear. So so let's understand what are the mismatches here. So what happened here? Let's first figure that thing out. So the 12 had a bad start. It started bad and then got raved. It had the lowest out of the pressure line. It was the lowest with the highest rating, but it was a challenger. The 3 went through. Here. So the first mismatch on the 7 is this, that this is a pressure model horse, right? Though the pressure is not huge, it's 36 by 86, but what is missing is the jockey. The jockey is not handicapped for a pressure model. We needed one of the orange guys here on this particular horse, which is not there. That's the first problem. The second thing is this, that this is a challenger, and then we have these horses which are there, which are even higher rated than this one. Okay. This one is higher, this one is higher. The 7 is a 4-year-old mare. This one is a 6-year-old, which is the oldest out of the odds, but that's also the highest rated. And then we have this one, which is the lowest pressure. So this probably is somewhere in the middle. That's VEW anyway, but they are like 50% on bleeding down the line. So honestly speaking, I don't know if 7 will be winning. Out here, the right fit probably is this one, the 4. And I'll explain why. So the 7 is a challenger. It doesn't have a jock, and all that is there. Plus this one is very high rated, but it's a 6-year-old mare. The 3 probably is somewhere in between. Now the question is whether it is 7 which will win. Now there are 2 problems in this entire scenario. The first problem is this, that this might play very, very differently. Why? Because this is an all mare, same sex, same age kind of a scenario. Though that's a Victoria special, they have a very, very strong stock to support that logic that plays in Victoria. Whether it will play here, because same sex, same age, it never worked. Not in Victoria. Today we are not in Victoria, we are in New South Wales. But if the logic prevails there of same sex, same age, there should not be any reason why it will not be here, because Those are very, very fundamental rules. Those are very fundamental rules. It's about body weight and the pressure. So I don't know if this is going to work. The 7 is challenging. I mean, logically, if we look at this, how it should work, it should end up here. 4-7. That should work. Why? Because the EW which is here is like that. That's the EW here, and the other one is here, which is a very wide gate. All right, gate number 7. That advantage, whether will work with that horse, is very difficult to assume. Plus, it is not there within the odds. This one is there with a very low pressure, but low pressure winning at 1200 meter is not what we generally see. It's basically a pressure that will win. Now the pressure comes here on these 3 horses, all right, and the highest rating is on this horse, which is a 6-year-old mare from gate number 8. It is not an easy task because it's a benchmark 72. It is not a benchmark 78 where things are going to be very confident that a 6-year-old mare will be able to deliver from gate number 8. Though gate number 8 is within the first top 10 gates, but it is still widest out of whatever we have, and that is the oldest. Now that leaves us with these 2 horses. In these 2 horses, this is definitely a little higher rated, but it is also the starter. It is also the starter. Starter is this is the challenger class. This is not meant for this class. It has been upgraded. It is here, and that's that. Now, along with that, what is happening is it has advantage. It is not that it does not have advantage over the 4. It has advantage, but that advantage is also interfering here with the leverage, which is not there on this horse. There's no leverage on this horse. Now we've I mean, not like so it's dicey. It's dicey. It's a linear. Now we also have an issue with the 4. What is the issue with the 4? The 4 is a mismatch through the character. It should have dropped below 20%, but it is not. It is above 20%, which is about 25. So that makes it a very dicey horse as well. Very unstable one. So it's a chance that the 7 is going to win, right? It's a chance that how this thing might unfold, right? How this thing might unfold is 7 not winning and something entirely different will work, all right? A low pressure winning like the 5 from gate number 4 might work like that. Why? Because it's a same sex, same age kind of a scenario. The pressure might not just work. Okay. I'm not forcing in onto the 3 because they have a management issue, but they're also very high rated. Generally, 1200 meter will play pressure. That way it is right that this is the highest pressure model, but this is also the challenger class. Generally, what happens is it's a low pressure, high pressure game. So generally, if the pressure, I mean, even here also, if we look at what happened, is the 12 was a low high pressure, and the 3 was a low pressure. Then it went to 1, which is again a low pressure. So generally, what happens, it's a high pressure, low pressure kind of a situation that prevails in each and every race. That is how the races are designed, and that's exactly why it is so difficult to get a queen or hitting a trifecta unless everything falls in your favor. So bottom line is this, that this horse is dicey for multiple reasons. One, it is it doesn't have the jock to handle the pressure. That's the first thing. Is the challenger class, which is under a lot of pressure. The third thing is it's a same sex, same age kind of a situation. Things can go wrong, and things can go wrong in a different level altogether, which actually happens, and we do not have any logical explanations, at least while racing at Victoria, when we are dealing with these kind of constructions. So it's a dicey one, it's a risky one. The advantage over 4 is this, that the 4 is a dicey model. All right, the 4 is a dicey model. It should have dropped below 20%. It did not drop below 20%. It is staying at 25/63, but it has a jock. It is at 36/86, doesn't have a jock, plus it is the challenger class. So both of these horses are dicey, but technically speaking, here the class should work, because this one is a 6-year-old mare from gate number 8, and this is a low pressure, which should be somewhere in the middle, because of its low pressure. This one or this one. This one is a lower class. Chances are this one is somewhere in the scene. So it's a question between these two horses, probably, I think. This is a very good hand. There's a jock. The stud farm is doing fabulous. There it is, here to 8. Three. So if it treats this one as the low pressure, then those are the top 3 horses. This is not that. But that's gate number 8. Very difficult to assume what a 6-year-old mare will be able to do from gate number 8 on a benchmark 72. This is anyway an advantage, which is here. So yeah, the question is between, I think, these two horses. The 6 could be a very high class in this particular scenario, but it is also present in benchmark 72, which makes it difficult for a 6-year-old mare to come and deliver from gate number 8. That's wide. This is in between, not winning. So this is dropping, this is dropping. So the challenger and this one, we'll see how this thing works. I would not recommend anybody to get into this. This might backfire. The first one already did. This one might just backfire, because we have seen these races at Flemington and all other tracks in Victoria. The same sex, same age is a problem in Victoria. I don't know. I think it is because of the stock that they have. It's very challenging stock. They have, very strong stock that they have in Victoria, which May not be the scene here. In that case, through the pressure, 7 might win, but it has a lot of drawbacks. That's what I'm trying to say. The 7 is not clean. The 7 is not clean. The 7 should have been a little more. The 7 should have been a little more, cleaner than that. We'll see how it works. I'm very scared of these kind of arrangements. So we'll see how that works. The 7 is the favorite. I think it is between these two horses. The PC, you gotta skip the first one. The first one is always something that you should keep to just watch. Take a feel of it, get a drink, make some calls. The first one always is better to skip, because I find it the right entry when you have a little bit of understanding of how the track is playing. Like, there is no reason for the 12 to get a bad start. Okay, there was no reason for the 12 to get a bad start in the first one. How and where it got the bad start is what I don't understand. And
And she's resuming off a lengthy break. It's trialled really well. There is an in-venue tab mode special, and you can shop at $4 for a maximum bet of $10. Not bad for an even money chance in the old currently.
Yeah, not bad at all. I'd be taking some of that $4 if I was in mode right now. You can get involved with that one, and look, she's going to be hard to beat. There's no doubt about it. Her trials have been terrific. Yes, she's first up off a year. That's the concern, but she's got a really good turn of foot, this girl, and the second behind Private Harry last prep. Sure, he didn't go on with it in the spring, but he had some excuses with some injuries and whatnot, bone bruising, I think it was. So I expect her to be really hard to beat here. Lack of recent racing, the small niggle, but I just have to go with her. I think she's clearly the best horse in the race. I thought User Pin tried nicely. A horse that's a Saturday winner last prep. Thought was a good chance at each way odds if you don't want to take the shorts about unleashing or if you're not in venue. One, Kimberly Secrets. I thought the effort at Canberra last time was good behind My Last Hurrah, and that horse had been sneaky flying of late. So, it was only 3.5 off Weeping Woman prior to that, who was so impressive on the weekend. And Kilkenny's not hopeless at sort of $9 either. I thought the first up run was really good when beaten in a photo there. Just back 50 metres here. Would have liked probably going up in trip. That's the only concern. 7, 3, 1 and 6. Getting out a little bit here late. Unleashing, as you'd expect, first up off a year. The big syndicates don't normally love that setup, but her trials are great and she's clearly the one they've got to beat.
Last 15 minutes with the bookies. You're on top of Unleashing. 190 out to 215. Kimberly Secrets 383.90 into 370. Use a pin 750 into $6. Kilkenny Blinkers first time $10 into 850 back to 9. Even Jamay's been spec number 5 as the sole last start winner 2021 into $18. Dover.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad win there either at Gosford. Held off to Icon there late. Got a pretty soft lead on that occasion all the same. But look, 1200 seems to be her sweet spot. She can get up on speed and give them something to catch here at the each way odds.
But you're with Unleashing. Lightly race, it appears pretty talented.
Yeah, she does, and look, that obviously drift was always going to happen because of that long sort of break. But you still get $4 in venue, mate. That's a great price, and she's the type of horse that, yes, lack of recent racing, but convinced she's probably the one out of the race that could easily sort of head to Saturday grade. A few of these will use a pin and whatnot, but at this time of the year, but she's got a bit of a turn of foot about her, and not many of these in this race have that possess that ability.
Good signs for User Pin, who's resuming. Chantel Buckley's pick of the yard. You mentioned trial nicely, and she's had 2 of them, 3rd at Canterbury in the most recent.
Yeah, no surprise to see a little bit of support for her. She won first up at Gosford 2 preps ago at 1100 metres, and her first up run last prep was fine. So trials have been great. 1200 fresh here looks ideal, and given the tick in the yard, it's always a positive as well.
Second Warwick Farm with Darren.
Latest price about Unleashing. She was a one-time runner-up to Private Harry in his heyday. She'd been trialling well, but she was odds on when the horses came into the yard, and now she's on the drift. Use a pin, one of the main shorteners moving in. Ben Osman, the replacement rider, replacing Cinegrima, who parted company with Ichiban Koji in the first, who went a miss. So Kilkenny moves in now with blinkers on. And Kimberly Secrets, who's the $4 second pick, is the last to move in. Karai Keating's getting the weight down to 58.5. Good to go now. Gates are back, they're off and racing. Kimberly Secrets jump well, but being restrained. So Tequila Baby's going to lead from Jamay. Unleashing will take a sit as they find the positions early. Jamay just in front. Well, Kimberly Secrets has been taken back and now it goes forward. Kimberly Secrets to lead clearly now. Jamay's the one being restrained on the outside of Tequila Baby. Use a pin sets back on the field on the outside of Unleashing. Kilkenny 2 lengths away last of all. Kimberly Secrets right on the bridle now. From Jamay racing to second on the outside of Tequila Baby. Use a pin, 1 out, 1 back at the 600 and neck back to Unleashing. Kilkenny with blinkers on today, being cold, written cold at the rear. Kimberly Secrets ups the ante, approaching the turn. Tequila Baby pushed on now, coming off heels. Jamay's had enough. Unleashing being pushed onto the inside. He used a pin, racing up on the inside.
Tuna, welcome back.
Tequila Baby the outside. Kimberly Secret's a half a length on Tequila Baby. Unleashing still 3 lengths away. Use a pin, closing it on the outside. Kimberly Secret's being tackled by Tequila Baby now. And Tequila Baby race to the front of the shadows of the post. Won it by
417.
Kimberly Secret. Unleashing to plenty of winding up in third spot.
No. 417.
And James has spent force on the home turn.
Tequila Baby.
417.
By Kimberly Secrets under both not for Brad Whittaker to pay $6 and $2.60.
So the
2 of the last 3, Dovo.
417 and 3.
Sort of dominated on speed.
That monkey 3. 417 and 3.
But Tequila Baby gets another win on the board. Kimberly Secrets was gallant when leading, and Unleashing just took too long to wind up. Got going late, but it was all too late.
4-1-7, 3 winds up 4th. Use a pin. 2 races down. Just the 4 races.
So this played right, actually. So what happened is this, that the odds were right, okay? But what was happening here is this, that firstly, I was very scared. I did not know how this same sex, same age will play. But what happened is this, that the 4 definitely with the class, and that arrangement went through. Then the 1 with the class and 7 was the one. The 7 had a lot of issues, okay? The jock was missing. There was a pressure model. Was it a great horse? It was a great horse. I mean, it is still a great horse, but the arrangement was wrong today on that horse. So the 4 went through 1, then 7. So it played exactly how high pressure, low pressure plays. So this one played high, this is low, this is high, and then finally again low. So that is the story. It will always play that. The question is which high, which low is a decision that needs to be made on the given circumstances. So we go to the next 3. It's a 1,000-meter benchmark 72, same as the previous one. No scratchings. 4819. Okay, so the 4 is the favorite, okay? It's the second linear. So the first linear is here, which is 6, okay? The problem with the 6 is it doesn't I don't know if it has the we are losing this side of the data points, so I don't know whether it has the physics to win this. I don't know that, but that's the linear. What it doesn't have is this side, because it is not among the top rated, not of the class, but that's the linear, and it's a 6-year-old mare. So that's that part of the story. That is the linear. This one is the second linear and is the highest leverage point on this horse. Racing after 3 weeks. Has a jock. But it is still benchmark 72, and that's gate number 9, which is the widest. So that's the only problem. Now let's understand what's going on here. So they have the 8, which probably is also the right odd. But now let's understand the class model. So the highest in class is this one, the 1, not doing great. Then it is 2, which doesn't have the physics to win this. Then it is 3, which is there. It's the largest drift, so possibly it can get a place. It doesn't need the physics to win this. I mean, it doesn't need the physics because it is a drift well below 20%, 19 actually, not well below 20%, but that's that. But that's that. So if we take these horses out, why we are taking these horses out? Because this is a 6-year-old, that's the highest in class, but that's also not doing great. And 1 probably is the third odd, so that's the third. First is 4. 2, 3 are not there within the odds, which is, we can figure out why. It doesn't have the this one doesn't have the physics to win this. Can it get a place? We'll figure that thing out. But apparently cannot win. 3 is 6-year-old gilding, gate number 3. They don't win generally. They kind of, the drifts which should come into a place if things fall right. 4 is the second linear, which is promising. It is also not far behind them. It is there. It is okay. There's a pressure. There is a jock. That should be good. The question is 8. Now, if we have to talk about 8, we have to talk about all the horses that are in this particular class. Okay, they're the challenging class. So they're talking about 8. Why? Because there is a jock. There is a jock, so that's why it is favorite. Okay, there is a jock, so that jock is making it the second favorite. But is that how this thing might interfere is with that 7. All right, that 7 is very high rated. That 7 is very high rated. Out of these horses, that's very high rated, right? Very strong body weight, and a lot more advantage than the 8, plus it comes from an inner gate. So that's that. So now if we look at 6, which is the other drift, which is at 19, obviously the 7 becomes a threat to that 6, that 3. All right. So whether that 7 will get in is something that we will get to see after the races, because they are also management wise, they are bleeding. 40% and above is bad. 40% should be the minimum threshold, but they are at 43. This one is at 46. This is at 26, which is good, the 8, but that's gate number 8. The advantage is lower. This is higher advantage, higher rating, same class. All right, so that 7 is a check. So now the question is whether 4 will win. This thing probably is not in a position to win. This one is lacking physics, probably not in a position to win. This one is dicey and will be negotiated by the 7, I think. So this is also dicey. So from this point of view, 4 is in a safe custody. What is a problem is the gate number. That's the widest. Now this is 1,000 meter. The idea is that you get a lead and you move. That's all that you need to do. You do not need a breather. It doesn't have a breather. Like here, this one had a breather. It used the breather and it went through, but here it doesn't have a breather. It's the second linear, which is here, and the problem is it is from gate number 9. So the idea is very simple. You cannot give it a breather. You cannot do anything funny with this horse. You run and you run. The straight is about 326. It should not be a problem. It should not be a kind of a situation that it goes out of breath. But the possibilities are there. Why? Because it is gate number 9. Why that gate number is a problem is because this will try to get to the rails to cover a shorter distance. And if it does that, in that case, from the gates, it will be on pace. It's 1,000 meter. If it is on pace from the gates, then it anyway doesn't have breather. From gate number 9, it is going to get pushed, which is like raved, much higher than any of the other horses. So if it goes out of breath, then it is out of luck. The only problem is the gate number, which is the gate number 9. For benchmark 72, that is not the ideal gate number for this horse to be. And if it fails, then it fails. Then there is nothing that can be undone about it. That ideally should happen. Here this was the 0, which means it was a higher class, and it fits the bill with the leverage, and it had the physics and everything. So that went through. I was a little concerned about here because it was above 20%, but that got managed here. So that's that part of the story. It doesn't have a breather. It will have to run, and it will have to run like there's no tomorrow. The upside of that is it might win if it does that. The downside is this, that it might go out of breath because it is gate number 9. We have a jock on this. The jock should be able to take the right decision. That's what I feel. Because these guys are not in a position to win. This one is in a terrible state. This one doesn't have the physics. This one is a 6-year-old gelding, which is adrift. But they all have some or the other advantage with the class. This one is from gate number 3, fits the bill, but it's a 6-year-old. This one is a 4-year-old mare. It has been winning constantly. It has been doing fantastic. It has no issues. The problem is the gate. If it loses breath, it is done. But I think should not be a problem. As the physics will go. This is low. That's an 8-year-old. This is that. It's a 6-year-old. This out here. That's that. We'll see how that works. I think if managed rightly, if the decision on the jockey part is right, and if he uses the right method, not chasing for the rails, keep it going, keep the lead. Don't try to get to the rails for the shorter distance, because the horse is fantastic. It'll cover. We'll see how that works. Jockey change did not help. Yup. The jockey change was on 7. PC, this is something that we'll get there, PC. We will get there. I'm pretty much confident we will get there. We just have to get, the order right. We will just have to get the order right. How, for low pressure, this is actually the thing is, at which class, which gate, and what pressure, with what jockey model needs to works is kind of looking into, taking a deep dive into all the data that we have got for the last maybe 2 years, maybe not 2 years, but from the time being that we've had those models. We need to get a clarity on each and every track. That is a mammoth task. That's a mammoth task. In Australia, you've got more than 500 tracks. We race majorly on the major metropolitan tracks. That boils down to maybe 15, 20 of them. But getting 15, 20 of them right is also going to take time. It's not the same everywhere. Like here, you have to consider the benchmark, the gate, the pressure, the jockey, and obviously whether it has the physics or not. So if all those things are chosen rightly, then it is going to be much easier for all of us. But that's something that needs to be done, which is yet not done. Like this one, I had a feeling this is a very high rating with a low pressure. All right. What if this thing flipped? What if this thing flipped and flipped like, you know, it's a same sex, same age kind of a situation, and it'll flip, which generally happens in Victoria. So I was scared, but one thing was very, very confident. I was that gate number 8 for a 6-year-old mare is not going to be easy. It is not going to be easy. It'll go out of breath, and it did, but it came in second because of the low pressure. The question was 7. All right, the question was the challenger, which was 7, was the linear or a high pressure model, but what it lacked was jock. What it lacked was jock. To handle that kind of a pressure model, or any kind of a pressure model, you need to have a suitable jock on this. That was lacking on this particular horse, and it came in third. That I mean, if you're not the first, you're the third, because, you know, then a low pressure will get in between. And out of these two horses, the 4 was a class above. Not a class, it is like 3 class above, or 4 class above, plus an advantage, leverage. So we'll see here, the class which are all above, they are looking dicey. The 4 is good, but it is from gate number 9. That's the only catch. And a benchmark 72, gate number 9 is difficult. It's not an easy task. It'll have to run, and run like there's no tomorrow. But if it does that, what if it goes out of breath, out of gas? The upside is it is 1000 meter, not a 1600 meter. So it'll be over in like less than a minute. So for a minute, if it can hold that pressure, then there is no looking back. PC, my selection. Number 1. Next. Number 1. Yeah, that's the highest class. PC, that one is the highest class. The upside with this horse is this, that it has been here, done that thing. All right. It also is one of the horses which has been into this distance like nobody's business. It's the highest in the business. All right. For 1000 meter, it has been doing 1000 meters like nobody's business. It also has the track reference and the muscle memory. So 1 is good. I'm not saying 1 is bad. Plus it comes from gate number 4. The problem is this, that this is a tricky number. This is a tricky number, which essentially is like this, that it is not doing great. But that also means it is not doing great in this particular class. Okay, it is not doing great in this particular class. So if all the horses were like that, same numbers, then it had no chance. But here all the horses are below this number, and it is still like that. But honestly speaking, I kind of, this is probably a thumb rule is this, that wider gates are an issue. Anything less than benchmark 80 and above, wider gates are an issue. If it is a benchmark 80 and above, then wider gates, you can be very confident about the wider gates on certain distances, but anything less than that, it becomes a question mark that we still have no answer for. Will a benchmark 72 work on from a gate number 9 or 10? And if it does, at what pressure point, is something that we have to go track by track. There's no shortcut. You will have to die to go to the heaven. I mean, I personally find it way more comfortable when it is minimum benchmark 78. That's where I find it, I find things are logical, way more confident in from benchmark 78 onwards. Anything below that is like what they spoke about in that movie called the Wall Street Rules, the penny stocks. Anything less than that is, they are all penny stocks. Dealing in penny stocks is very, very difficult. Dealing with penny stocks is and if you haven't watched that movie, please go and watch. It's a fabulous movie. Wolf of Wall Street.
It's 90 into $3.60 late with the bagman. Should be cherry ripe here. Third run back for Joe Pride, Tyler Schiller.
Yes, former out Tequila Baby, who of course won earlier today, and then went second behind Swordplay at this track in distance last start. Now that horse is flying, and running really good time and looks a promising horse for the future. So you can understand on the home track, Joe Pride stable certainly got a great chance here. But yeah, I just want to go with the third fave, just the better odds, Wonder Each. I just think it's a better setup today from that good draw and can get up on speed with a good record here at the Warwick Farm 1000.
Trace interest too with the bookmakers, $4.80 into $4.20. So first up was in a benchmark 100 here at Warwick Farm, and in a benchmark 84 last time out at Randwick, right back to a midweek 72 today.
Yeah, a big drop in grade. He's got to carry the big weight as a result. But, you know, when you consider that he carried 61 in an 84 last time, and he's carrying 63 after the claim in a 72, it's not too bad. And, look, I just think he's a funny horse. He can mix, but you can see that he's got a big horse, so I think he'll carry the weight fine. And I just think weight is less important over these shorter course distances than when we're talking about staying races, because they have to carry that weight for longer. So I expect him to bounce back today.
Bremel as the favourite. It's got a really good record, lines up as the sole last winner in the race for Greg McFarlane.
Yeah, it's a funny race, isn't it? And he's won his past two in good style. The latest was a 0.8 length win there at Canterbury. Like I said, time on the day that the maiden went just as quick, really. So I'm not sort of getting carried away. She's won the 4 from 6. She's been well placed throughout her career. And look, this is another step forward today, but she keeps on winning. So she's got a great record at the 1,000 metres, winning 3 from 4 at this distance.
For those after one at longer odds, Defiant Heart's been really solid late with the bookies. It's now an 8-year-old, but very likely race. It was pretty good first up behind Maylata at Gosford.
Thought he found the line really well, Marto, there with the 61.5 kilos. He gets a bit of weight relief here in a stronger race, sure, but that time out of that race was solid. Maylata's that midway type of horse, so yeah, look, he's got a good turn of speed on his day, and he's just going to need a little bit to go right from the gate. But another one with a really good record at 1,000 metres. 4 of his 6 wins have been at this trip.
Under each topic, hasn't found the front in its 2 runs this campaign, was flying when finding the front last campaign.
Yeah, I think that's the key. Just stamp him urgent here, and look, there's a few others that will roll forward, but if they can use that gate and get to the front, he showed speed in that Gosford trial, then this could be a different story with him today. As you said, those 3 wins last.
What do I think about the 2?
Already led, so hopefully he can get to the front here today.
Start of the main quaddy on this 6 racer from Warwick Farm with that.
Boss, it doesn't have the physics. Tuna, it's 1,000 meter. It doesn't have this physics. 3 is better because it's a drift. Very good hand. 3 is better. The 2 is dicey because it doesn't have the physics. The 3, you're right. The 3 is a lot better than the 2, I think.
First leg of the main quaddy now at Warwick Farm, and they're set to go. Wonder Each is third up today. Ready now. Racing, Bremel left all right, so did Zuccarino, and now Wonder Each is right there with Gold Lover, racing right up on the inside. Bremel just eases back to 5th. On the outside of Fine Vintage, then came Violet and Blue down on the rails. Good go back in the field to Indefensible, and Defiant Heart is last of all, so Wonder Each made its way to the front there in the hands of Brave Knight from Shelby, followed then by Gold Lover, who's right there on the inside of Zuccarino. Further back to Violet and Blue inside Fine Vintage. Then came the favourite Bremel. There's a little bit wide with cover, and Indefensible being stoked up, getting right to the outside. So Bremel didn't accelerate there, and is somewhat cluttered up. It's Wonder Each being kidded to by Knocker. Narrow leader from over the inside. He's Indefensible winding up out wide. They're right across the track, but Indefensible's got the ref build up. Has come from second last. It's Zuccarino. Gold Lovers,
8-9.
4. Then Fine Vintage. Now Bremel never really looked to hope for the turn onwards. Further back to Violet and Blue, Defiant and Shelby.
Indefensible over Joe Pride, Tyler Schiller to pay late 3 range across the tapes. Big Zuccarino and Gold Lover, and Wonder Each in for 4th. Defensible finds winning Indefensible. Finds winning form 3rd run back from a break, and good record for the 4-year-old mare. Lifts to 9 starts, 3 wins.
Yeah, she's doing a good job, and Joe Pride just continues with another metro win. He's at a great
8971.
25. She was able to sit back off that genuine speed, get to the outside, and use that turn of foot we know she has to score in good style. Zuccarino was going one to each side, his chance out in front, and just felt the pinch late. Bremmel was the disappointment.
It'll not work. It generally doesn't work from that gate.
Halfway point of the 6 race a reach from Warwick Farm. Break into Capelman's ninth.
So what happened? 8, 9, and 7. It was here. 8 won because of that. 9 won because of that. And 7 won because of that. I mean, 7 came in third because of that. The rest, everything went for a toss. And then came 1. The 1 was not doing great, but still came in 4th. Go to the next. Six, 14, 15, 16, all scratched. 6, 14, 15, 16, not there. 9, 1, 4, 12. So that 9 is the favorite. Now, why the 9 is favorite? It is the horse which has got the maximum exposure to this distance. The 9 has been on this distance forever, and that is the reason it is the favorite. Okay, which is like that. But the problem is this, that it is going to run neutral. Neutrals don't win generally. It has to be a very specific kind of a scenario that I'm not aware of. That's when neutrals win. I don't know if that's one of the specific scenario here or not, but in general, neutrals don't win. If we look through the DICR, through the class, so the one is on the top, which comes from gate number 13. It's a benchmark 64. That probably is not going to work. Then comes these two horses, which is a 6-year-old and the other one is a 7-year-old. Okay, this one is with a lot of leverage, but it is not doing great like this one. Okay, so it is not doing great. It can be of very high rating after this one. They are the two, but it is not doing great. This one is a 6-year-old gelding from gate number 8 is still wide. That's a 5-year-old mare from gate number 12 wide. The 5 actually stands a very strong chance, but the problem, it also has problems. So if we the 5 comes right after the 13, but the problem is that this jock has never raced here. This jock has never raced here. So that's the problem. But the distance is such that whether the jock has raced here or not, that gets nullified, because the jock will have a lot of time to improvise. So that becomes a check. However, management-wise, they are like that. Sorry. Management-wise, they are like that. And there are zeros. Zeros also don't win. So, 1 is gate number 13. Very slim chance of winning. 5 doesn't have a jockey, plus it's a 0. It's a very slim chance. 9 is a neutral, is a very slim chance. 12 is again very wide, is a 0, plus a neutral. It's I don't know, very difficult to assume what they will do. So these horses are like that. If they are like that, then it is going to go to something very unsuspecting. It is going to go to something very unsuspecting. That's also gate number 16, not happening. 0, 0, not happening. This one is an 8-year-old. How will that happen? This is gate number 12, 9. 6, 8, 37, 29. Okay, the first thing is we do not have linears in here. It is this trace is we don't have pressure lines on this, and whatever pressure we have is very, very less, and that turns out to be neutral here. So it is either these guys, which are the advantages, or these guys, which are the drifts and the neutrals, and in between whatever we have. So we don't have linears. Now if we don't have linears, then generally the logic plays like what? A linear will win, then a low pressure will come in, which is like this one or this one. So this is 29, 25. This is an 8-year-old. This is an 8-year-old. This is from gate number 3. This is from gate number 10. Both are in trouble. Or it'll work a linear with the largest drift, right? These two are the largest drifts. This is also the highest in class, but from gate number 13. And the other one is here, which is a fit of this class maybe, which is from gate number 6. So that is an inner gate fit class. This is above, but they're not doing great. So that 10 is a check. Honestly speaking, I don't know if 9 will win. The reason for me, I mean, I am not very confident with neutral horses, and we don't see them winning very often. It's very rare occasions, and I don't know what is that rare occasion. I've still not been able to identify that rare occasion. In what circumstances do they win? I have no clue. But 9 has been on this distance ever since. It has only been racing this particular distance, and that is the reason it is the favorite. It also has a jockey, but it is going to run neutral. So we'll see how that works, because I don't like the, I mean, until and unless we have pressure follow, pressure models, it's that 5 is without a jockey. I mean, the jockey has never raced here, but also 0. These two are neutrals. 11 is the 8, much lower class. This is not happening. Then is this one. Then this one is also a but it is not doing great. How great it is not doing. Both of them are 7-year-olds. This one is gate number 6. This one is gate number 2. This one has leverage. This one doesn't have leverage. None of them requires the physics. Is it possible? At 38, which is gate number 8. These two. I don't know how it'll end up. We'll listen to what they have to say. If we find anything interesting, then we'll talk about it. But Apparently it doesn't look like it is a very promising it's a very promising venture for anyone. Apparently it doesn't look like that. If the 9 wins because of the distance advantage that has been on this distance ever since, and whatever that little pressure it has, it works, it wins. It's okay. But that's a very slim chance. That's a very slim chance. We'll see how that works. That 10 is a check, but when that 10 is a check, then that 2 is also somewhere scary. Gate number 8. That 3 is also scary, but not doing great. We'll see how it works. I'm out. Don't like it. Don't like it. PC 30 on 7, race 6. Race 6 is, this is not race 6, this is race 4. This is race 4. Race 6 on 7. You will get a feel of this in this one. If the 9 wins, then it'll be a little boost of confidence for you. If the 9 wins. But I seriously don't know why do you take that kind of exposure on a track like this, PC. I'm going to be back from the washroom in a jiffy. All right, I'm back.
Farm, Mr. Davidson, Placid Pearl, best bet. It's been freshened after hitting the line nicely at Canterbury last time out.
Yeah, she was good Bardo there, and look, it was a bit of a fancy run time of day, which didn't suit her pattern. So, look, I thought it was a good run, all considering the way the track was playing. She gets to 2200 now. Yes, she's a month between runs. She was scratched from a race at the Provincials last week with a minor issue, but look, stable says she's ready to go here. She's a really nice staying type of mare, and look, I thought her first 2 runs this prep were great too, so I'm sticking with her. I think $3 plus seems fair enough. 5 Bearings is an interesting horse. So I like the way he found the line there at Canberra last time to win well. I think he's a promising stayer, and wouldn't surprise me to see him take the next step here. 4 Sting in the Tail's having a really consistent prep, deep into the campaign now, but did win 3 back and like us at Canterbury going back earlier this campaign as well. 13 Burgundy Girl, I thought the last run was better than it looked on paper. Can be a knockout hope here, but 9.54 and 13.13.
Placid Pearl, your best with bookies late 323.30. Format is 4 into 370 back to 380. Sting in the Tail 8.50 back to 8. Little nibble for Bearings 9 into $8. And Blue Eyed Bridget is 9 out to 12. Back into $10. And Burgundy Girl is $12 into $11. They're getting set for the tab handicap at Darren.
To reach forward. Bremel, the favourite, unplaced, and never really looked a chance there on the straight either. So final stages of loading them here for our distance race of the day. Jet was able to lead and kick hard to win the first by a nose, and Tequila Baby at good odds took out race 2. Placid Pearl, who ran really well at Canterbury last time's the favourite for our staying race, and they're set to go. Gates are back, they're racing. Mission Bravo was really sluggish out, and Nita will settle in the rear of the field. And off the first into stride, being sent forward Format from the outside. Favourite Placid Pearl, handy on the outside of Bearings, and then Betar going up into 3 wide position. Not much chance of getting in at the moment. Bearings is underneath it with Mediaro the fence, then Burgundy Girl. Blue Eyed Bridget back in the field is easing back for some cover. On the outside of Phillipsburg, Sting in the tail, and Mission Bravo settles last of all. So an Alpha shows the way, but better for the pair of being caught wide. It's being sent forward now by Correa Keatings, and Betar's going to take the lead and take it clearly by 2 lengths and an Alpha. Back in third now is Format as the field strings out a bit. Bearings in the black jacket, 4th on the rails. Then the favourite Placid Pearl. 2 further back to over on the inside is Mediaro in the early part of the race. Old Greg goes about midfield. Now Burgundy Girl is taking off and taking off pretty quickly as well in the hands of Tyler Schiller to improve its position. So settling back in the field is Blue Eyed Bridget. Then came Sting in the tail, who's well back on the inside of runners, and 2 lengths away to Mission Bravo at the rear of the field. Phillipsburg is back second last. Righto, they link up with the side section of the course. Better in front from Burgundy Girl into a clear second, followed by Nolfa, who took the sit right behind them. They're followed then by Format the outside. Now Placid Pearl's decided it's time to get going. So there's been a few moves in this. Old Greg is next on the outside of Bearings. Mediaro close to heels from Blue Eyed Bridget. Further back Sting in the tail from Phillipsburg. Mission Bravo last of all. Better and narrow leader. Burgundy Girl under the pump now with Placid Pearl striding up on the outside. Followed by Nolfa. Then came wide around Old Greg from Format. Then Bearings. Mediaro pulling to the outside. End of the straight, Better in front from Placid Pearl, then Old Greg. Further back to Sting in the tail, who's taking a rails run as Placid Pearl joins Better. Sting in the tail went right up on the inside. Better and straight great races to the lead, Sting in the tail, and has got them beaten. Goes on the winner from Old Greg.
4 and 10, I think.
Further back to Nolfa, Burgundy Girl. The Fine and Philly didn't stay it out there. Blue Eyed Bridget, then came Mediaro from Mission Bravo, and Phillipsburg was last in.
4-10-9.
Lloyd decided this.
Zach Lloyd and Sting in the tail, comfortable at the finish at 8.40 and 2.20. Beat Old Greg 3.60. Placid Pearl third at $1.62. Better in for fourth. That's been a bad luck magnet at various stages during her career, but she wins comfortably today, Davo.
Yeah, he does a great job, Chris Fuller, in keeping these horses going deep into preparation.
I can't read that cloth.
She's just that build. She's going better than ever now. And she's been up for a long, long time. So, look, yep, good prep. Back on the inside. Shows a good turn of speed. Sort of covered up. And She's too good for them. I thought Placid Pearl got going early, but had a chance. Winner was too good.
4, 10, 9 and 2, the result of race number 4 with 2 races to come. Midweek from Warwick Farm, 6th event from Globe Dart.
4, 10, 9 and 2. 4, that 5-year-old mare actually got through. That actually went through that 4. It is a distance which has been with the 5-year-old mares, the 2200 meter. And then the 10 got there. Four, 10, then the 9, and then the 2. And go to the next 5. There are no scratchings. 3, 4, 1 and 2. So that 3 is the favorite. So ideally, ideally it should work. Ideally it should work. So this one is a 5-year-old gilding from gate number 11. It is still benchmark 64. Plus this one doesn't have the physics. So like here we've seen without the physics, it's not possible to win. You cannot win without the physics. That's generally the case. It's a very rare occasion where we have seen that kind of a thing winning. Very rare. Maybe 1 in 100 will work without the physics of the race. That's the best hand. If it had the physics, I would have gone with 2. And obviously, if the gate number was not 11, it has a breather, but the breather is more on 3. So ideally it should work. Now the problem with 3 is it doesn't have a jock. It doesn't have the right jock for a linear movement. That's 36 by 100. The jock's kind of a little dicey. That's the only problem. Other than that, I think it should work. Other than that, I think it should work. It should be 3 and 1. I think so. 3 and 1. That's an 8-year-old, but that's probably the highest. And it's from an inner gate. So probably that's the advantage that we are looking at. The other one, which is here, is they are from a different class. So probably not today, not here. So I think it is here. And then where it will fall. And it will go to one of these guys, I think, because of the fact that they're very high rated, especially the 6. Especially the 6. This one is still a little of not this class. This one is slightly above. This is a 0. Zeros generally don't win. But can they get a place? Yes, they can, especially from gate number 1, they can. But I still like this one. This is a lot higher. So the 3 looks okay. The part which is missing is the jock. I mean, in every race there is something or the other thing that we will have to take it with a pinch of salt. This one, the 3 is looking okay. The 2 is from gate number 11, not in a position to win. Plus it is lacking the physics. 3 is the right odd. 4 is like how we caught this one, okay? The 10. 4 is like how we caught this one. So the 4 is there because these two are not there, and this one is a 0, but it is not doing great. So that is one of the key factors which might play. What are the odds? 3, 4, 1, and 2. 3, 4. So linear this one. Which is the right order? I mean, that's the logic. That is the logic that I played here. That's generally how it works. The linear has to be there. So the linear has to work with one of these guys. So they were all in trouble. So this one was there. That's the logic. They are in trouble. This one is of not this class. So 4 is the right odd. Technically speaking, 4 is the right odd. But here the 4 is not doing great. And they both have the same advantage or disadvantage. Here it is more, but it is a higher class. So I don't know if those things will work and how that will work, but I still think 3 and 1. 4 is like that. And there is a strong chance out of this, the 6 might just pop up. The 6 might just pop up. That's a very high one. That's a negative 0.5. This is a 2.0. That's a 6-year-old gilding from gate number 9. This is a 5-year-old gilding from gate number 5, and it matches here. It's 3. They're all, I mean, within the gates. So this one is in trouble. Logically it is right. Logically it is right, but practically it is like that. This one cannot win from gate number 11. That's difficult, plus it doesn't have physics. This one is an 8-year-old gilding. So very low confidence on how those things might work, but out here that becomes something that might just go through. So yeah, the 3 is good, should win, you know. I think it should win. The problem is jock, which we can't help because we are not jocks and we cannot change the jock. The jock is going to be the jock, which is whoever is assigned on that horse, and that's the reality. If the jock does anything stupid, it'll go upside down because it's a pressure model and the jock is. And so what will go wrong and in what circumstances? So it's a 1600 meter and this is the linear. So a linear means that if it doesn't have a breather, then it is a different situation, but here it has a breather. So what needs to happen is that you press the button at the last bend, not before that. If it gets raved from the gates, because this man here, he thinks, no, I want to win and I want to win by a length, then sir, it will be upside down. If he takes the right decision and pushes the button at the last 326 or right at the bend 600-meter marker, you're good to go. It's 1600 meter, so you'll be good to go there. But if you do anything funny, then it is upside down. So this thing would have been a lot more confident. We would have been I would have been a lot more confident on this if we had one of these orange guys on this section, but we don't have that, so that makes it a problem. But we gotta deal with that problem. What else can we do? We'll see how that works. 3 should win ideally, if he doesn't do anything circus-like behavior. Thank you, Dow's, for being there. I'll see you on Saturday. Saturday is Randwick Day, I think. PC is probably abusing me because of that 9 lost. And now that generally doesn't work, you know. The neutrals don't work. And if there is no pressure model, then it becomes difficult. I mean, they work. At times they do. And when, at what circumstances, that's very difficult to identify at what circumstances they win. There's obviously something that I am missing out. There's obviously a particular, you know, scenario when they win, but I still have no clue when they win. I still have no clue when they win. It's very difficult for them. What happens to them basically is they lose the traction at the last mile. They lose the momentum because they're neutral. They lose the momentum. Here, this is the linear. If it is ridden rightly, it will win. But the condition is it has to be ridden rightly. You can't rave this horse from the gate. If you do that, it will be upside down. We'll see how it works, and kind of enough speculation.
But I thought he was super there. He really judged the line down the middle of the track late. And look, if he's fresh enough at the second run to be able to hold a spot here and do what he did there the other day, I think it'd be really hard to hold out. 3, 1, 4 and 2. How's it, Kev? I thought the effort at Mudgee in the cup there was really good. He just had to get too far back from the gate where he actually found the line really nice. He's a 30-year-old now, but his last two have been pretty strong efforts, and he did win at Canamble first up the Crystal Sprint there, so he's right in the game from a better gate today. 4, Ivan's Hero. He's been well backed, and I can see why, because he's going to be up on speed here. He beat Mortar Halo 2 back at Rose Hill. He was wide no cover latest as well, and the effort 3 back was solid. So he finds a really winnable race here and could well dictate out in front. The 2, Kingdom of Logresse, off a very long break, off 595 days, but close off well in a recent Gosford trial, and look, on his day, he's probably the best horse in this race. It's just the lack of racing the concern. 3, 1, 4 and 2 here.
Let's have a look at what's happening. Tab fixed, $2.90 out to $3.20 for Luna Lover. Best back to beat it, Ivan's Hero. Into $3.20 or $5.50. It's a move for Kerry McAvoy and Chris Waller, and well and truly in the mix for Davo. Let's have a look at the late action bookies. Last 15 minutes, Luna Lover, $2.90 to $3.10. Ivan's Hero is very popular everywhere. Davo, $4.20 into $3.50.
Yeah, he's been more back, and look, if he runs up to that effort 2 back, he's going to have a great chance here. He finds a very winnable race and type of horse that's hard to catch on his day, but he can find the front, I would imagine, here, and it'll be really hard to run down. Had excuses when wide last time, and he can run up to that Rose Hill effort. He's probably the horse to beat.
If you're after a real roughie, there's support for Hell's Itch at big odds. Number 9, 61 into $31 slate with the bookies. 5th at Canberra last time out. What's your read for John Thompson?
Going okay. Would need to improve a little bit into this, but and the white draw doesn't help. But didn't have the best of luck there at Canberra the other day.
And Unwritten is another one for Reece Jones, and the Hickman Yard is $51 into $31. Getting set for the 5th with Darren.
Kingdom of Logresse is the last, first up today. At a trial at Gosford, found the line quite well in that trial. Kingdom of Logresse moves in the hands of Molly Fitzgerald. We'll see if Molly goes forward there from the wide draw. Full field of 11 running here. And we're ready to run now in the Asahi Super Dries down by for a dispatch. Starter about to press the button, does so now, they're off and racing. How's it kept? Jump well together with Dynamic One the outside, and Hell's Itch out wide is being sent forward. And they're followed right behind them too. Luna Lover is not too far off the action. As up front we've got Ivan's Hero pushing on it. Ivan's Hero is going to take the lead now from How's It Kev, followed by Dynamic One settling third on the inside of Hell's Itch. Then a turner on the fence on the inside of the favourite Luna Lover, or one of them now. 2 further back to Unwritten. Kingdom of Logresse went down to the rails and is improving. In advance at Tip Top Timing, Allegro Miss. And last of all is Gold Tracker. So the front runner is Ivan's Hero, just as Ivan lost it, out by a length or so on Hell's Itch. How's It Kev leaders back third. 2 off to Dynamic One on the outside of Atono. Then came the favourite Luna Lover at the 800 metres. Probably about midfield at that point. Then came Kingdom of Logresse from Unwritten. Tip-top timing starts a run 3 wide. Allegro Miss sits in. Gold Tracker being reined up as last of all. Inside the 600. Ivan's Hero half in front.
This is where you need to push, baby.
The race in a 3 wide position. Luna Lover being roused along.
Come on.
Trying to pick up. Tip-top timing to the outside. Straight now, Ivan's Hero shows a nice kick, opened up by 2 lengths on House It Kev. Then Dynamic One at Tono. Luna Lover's not really picking up. Allegro Miss back on the inside. Ivan's Hero 2 lengths clear inside the 150. Running home strongly is Allegro Miss late. It's coming hard. Ivan's Hero just scraped in from Allegro Miss. House It Kev third, at Tono fourth. Luna Lover pretty one pace down the straight. Further back then to behind them Dynamic One Unwritten. Further back to Gold Tracker, Kingdom of Logresse, Hell's Itch, Tip Top Timing.
Ivan's Hero sees it out, lands bets there, Davo, just holding on to beat Allegro Miss.
Yeah, didn't want it much further, did he? But it was a lovely ride by Kerry McAvoy. He's a little bit keen early, but he was able to sort of pinch that break at the top of the straight and hold on. He was well backed and gets the cash. Allegro Miss, another couple of strides, and would have been a different story. She was flying late there off the inside pack. How's It Kev not far away? Our favourite was certainly disappointing and might be looking for further.
Ivan's Hero's now won 2 of his last 3 with a last off a wide run at Canterbury, sandwiched between the wins, and it's 4-8-1-5. 5 down.
4. 8. 1. 5. It's a problemo. The missing jock on the pressure model. That's the only reason. He should have pressed the button at the 600-meter marker. He waited for eternity. That did not work. 4, then 8. Then 1. A monkey. We'll go to the next. Five and 10 has been scratched. 7, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, the PC is on this horse, and so that thing is probably the best horse. It has 41% leverage. There's a lot of stuff going on with this, but here is the problem. The problem is nothing but it is going to run neutral. Neutrals are difficult. It's a neutral with one of the highest pressure line. So let's understand what neutrals are. Okay, what neutrals are. So there are plenty of mathematics here, but in simple language, this VH, the VH here, is the scale of handicapping. How deeply they are handicapped is the scale. And once we know the handicapping, then this further describes at what pressure they are handicapped. All right. Then we have the class. Then we have jockey, gate, all those things are there. So a linear is basically the one which is handicapped at the highest level, which usually should translate that this one should have the highest pressure. But that's not the case. The case is this, that the highest pressure is on 7. Now, what happens to neutrals? So when there is a handicapping scale, there's a pressure model, and there are sections. So when we calculate that in totality, we get those numbers. So a neutral basically is this, that it's a horse which has a level of handicapping which is below its caliber, which sounds like a positive thing, and that should work positively. So this horse has been handicapped below its caliber. Like this one is handicapped above its caliber. This one is handicapped below its caliber. Now, how does that translate generally? So when a horse has been handicapped below its caliber, what basically handicapping is? Handicapping is going to produce momentum. Without handicapping, I mean, if you run horses, and if there are 10 horses racing together, and there are no weights on the horses, there's no jockey on it, there are no weights on it. In that case, ideally, the horse which is young and the heaviest will have an advantage, and it will lead and probably win. Two conditions. One, it has to be leading. One, it has to be the heaviest, the largest horse. So that's the body weight. Now, when that works as like what I said, that the body weight will determine whether that horse is going to be winning. If there are no weights on the horse and there are no jockeys on the horse, in that case, the body weight of the horse will determine, and the age. You might have a very heavy horse, but that's like a 15-year-old not working. It has to be a young horse with a very heavy weight. So if that's the scenario, the weight basically puts momentum. The weight will put momentum on a horse. It's something like, back in the days, in the ancient time, we had slaves. Every country had slaves. So they used to draw a lot of heavy weights. They used to take very heavy weights from one place to another. And one of the key ingredient that used to make them work is the whip. So if you go back, check the Egyptian mythologies or the Roman mythologies, wherever there were slaves, you will see the slaves are working and they are being whipped. Now there's a scientific reason behind that. So what happens is, when you have weight on you and you're being whipped, you get a burst of energy. You get a burst of thrust. Now that interferes when you are running neutral. If you are handicapped below your caliber and you are whipped, you don't have the weight because you are handicapped below your caliber, then that whipping doesn't work. It will it is as good as, you know, a neutral vehicle. It cannot get the burst of the momentum, and that is why it loses the momentum at the last mile. That's the problem. In some occasions we have seen them winning, and that's very rare. And when that happens, my understanding is this, that it's a very heavyweight horse. Now here we have the weight that we are calculating. So if we look at the weight, the lower is heavier. The larger numbers are the lighter horses. So if you look at the heavy versus low, then this comes on the third position. I'm not saying this is absolutely correct to every milligram. I am not saying that. This is a number that we have been working with, and it is more or less there. This thing is not calculated in kilograms, but it is there. It more or less gives us a clear identification of which one is a heavy horse, which one is not. So this is on the heavier side, but it is going to be running neutral. What are the chances? What might happen? What might happen? The 7 might win. Why? Because it's on the heavier side. The 7 might win. But that's a very, very slim window of assuming that it will win, because if we take 100 races that we have raced, out of which 95 of them will show us the report that the neutrals did not win. 95 of them will show that the neutrals did not win. So that's an assumption. That is an assumption. The two, which is the probably these two are the highest in class. It doesn't have the physics to win this. And then rest everything is about, you know, may happen, might not happen. The 4 that they're talking about is and out of these two horses, let's say 9 I mean, if we look at the top heaviest horses, all right, the 4 is a drift, which is on the right trajectory, because it is supposed to be less than 20%. It is way less than that, but they're management wise bleeding, and that's a 7-year-old gilding from gate number 9. Very, very difficult to believe what will happen to that. Now the question is between 9 and 7. Both of them are neutrals. Okay, they belong to the same class. They belong to the same class. This one is on leverage, under handicapped. That's why it is neutral. This one is the same case, under handicapped. But I still, if you look at the numbers, then they are same. This one has a jock, is a little better in number, has a breather. This one doesn't have a breather, running neutral. So dicey. 9 is a check. Comes from gate number 3, has a jock. We'll see how it works. It is not easy. It is not easy as in like making a decision on scenarios like this is never easy. And you need a lot of courage. You need a lot of belief. PC has a lot of experience in this. PC has been on racing way more than I've been into. But the data that we work with, it gives us some kind of a direction, you know, it gives a direction. Not that, you know, every time it is right. You cannot be right every time. But if you look at the accuracy of the data, right? If you look at the accuracy of the data. So what happened today is, the first one was a bummer. The second one, we got the 4. That is through the data. Here we got the 7. That is through the data. Here we got the 10. That is through the data. Here we failed and everybody failed. The 8 went through. So, I'm sorry, the 4 went through and then came the 8. And this is the last one. So the data gives us a direction. The data is, you know, what it does basically is it'll give you the picture of what you are getting into if you are getting into it. The data will give you a picture of what you are getting into and what are your chances. It tells you exactly in plain and simple numbers, what are your chances? What are you getting into? Should you get into this? Is this a clean shot? We'll see how it works. The 7 is the favorite. The pressure is on. Runs neutral. We'll see how it works.
He said not beaten far by Weeping Woman fresh. Probably an inferior ground that day as well. And Weeping Woman's gone on and won impressively on the weekend. It's the 1400 Enrique. Just hope she can hold a spot from that game too if she can. I think she's hard to beat here. 7-3, 2 and 9 in the last. No surprise to see a bit of support for Roussillon here, a horse that I thought has been going pretty well in Victoria now with the Clare Collett Yard here in Sydney, and thought the recent trial was certainly pleasing, and the ratings stack up well from down south. 2 Still Strike, Extra Trips going to suit, and at number 9 Pretty Powerful. Luckless first up last prep, didn't back it up after that, but should have been in the finish first up last campaign. 7, 3, 2 and 9. Enrique to bring us home here.
And with the bookies, it's the most popular late Amricia. $2.70 into $2.30. Nibble Pretty Powerful, $8.50 into $7.50. Roussillon, $7.50 to $8.50. Back into 8, went up short of a tap. The Thrills, Invisible Magic, $51.61. Back into $51. Amricia popular here. Lightning Race 4-year-old man with a good early record.
She does. She's got a decent record. She won at Canterbury last prep against the pattern and we're all sort of raving about it, going, okay, straight to town and let's see what she's got. She started favourite a few occasions and struggled, so but her first up run was solid. It is a bit of a need A4 hit though. She has been short a few times, so time for her to step up and show us what she's got.
Let's get to Darren and wrap it up.
Away and pretty powerful moving in. It's a 2:15 about America. So she can break through for her loyal followers. She's been really well back to win this. And Steel Strike second up today, up in trip. Steel Strike is the clear second pick. So Enrique Steel Strike stand out in the market. Pretty powerful, has been trailing nice enough and returns as a gelding. Is the third elect in the market, so Steel Strike's about to move in. New Business goes forward. Looks like Calling Them Through is about to join them for the last of 6 here at Warwick Farm today. Racing in Sydney on Saturday, back to Randwick, and the light is on now. We're ready to go. Off here on the My Plates and Steel Strike jump fast. Together with Dufresne is there. Starman Handy and New Business, the roughies going forward. And the first 4 have singled out a bit in the early stages. No More Night Shift pretty handy, followed by the favourite Enriquea. Then Russi on the rails from Invisible Magic, pretty powerful, settles back. And Calling Them Through is going to settle towards the rear with Tembury Wells. Well, the blinkers are sparked up Starman. He's the initial leader now from Steel Strike and New Business, the rails. Dufresne in 4th position. No More Night Shift had to snatch up a bit. Invisible Magic a little bit deep on the outside of Enriquea. 3/4 to Russi on a length to pretty powerful. Calling Them Through and Tembury Wells are the last 2. So with the long odds New Business now puts the neck in front from Starman. Steel Strike 3rd. Then No More Night Shift. Dufresne under pressure from Invisible Magic. Russi on close to heels. Enriquea is a bit cluttered up there. Has pretty powerful pulls wide and tries to go around the field. It's New Business and Starman. New Business beating off Starman, then No More Night Shift. Steel Strike and pretty powerful to the outside. Figure Enriquea. Pretty powerful's going after New Business. Steel Strike in the middle. Then came No More Night Shift. It's Steel Strike. Pretty powerful now fighting it out. Russi on late. Pretty powerful moved up. Put the head in front. Pretty powerful won the last. Follow for the
9.
Russi on Steel Strike. New Business 4th. Followed then by No More Night Shift. Enriquea, she's got the punters again. Further back to Dufresne, Calling Them Through. Lake Starman led in the blinkers. Ren dropped out. Followed by Invisible Magic and Tembury Wells.
Pretty powerful, resumes a gelding and resumes a winner, and learned some bets in the process for Tommy Berry and Chris Waller. And Bay 740 plus for the win across the toast. Looks like 3 Russilon will get second wide out. Let's just confirm that with this super slow-mo. Looks like
9, 3, 2, 11.
3, 2 and 11. Pretty powerful's clearly come back pretty well, Davo.
Yeah, like first up last campaign, this horse, and that gelding operation certainly helped him. He still wanted to wonder about a bit, didn't he, under pressure, but
So what happened is that 9 beat the 3, 7. Why that happened is because of that breather. Nine, 3, 2 and 11. The 7 was nowhere. So that pressure, that character, lack of jock, the other problem, that all was the issue. Here it was a little higher on the body weight. This was also under handicapped. Difference between these two is this is a lot high rated plus a breather. That's why I put 9 as a check. But I was not even confident on 9 because that was also running neutral. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. We had 6 races today here at Warwick Farm. That was the last one, but I'm going to be racing back again on Saturday. So if you have a little time, please come and join me. We will race together, do a little chit chat, and try to have some fun. And thank you so much for being there. For everybody who's been watching this stream from anywhere in the world, thank you. It means a lot. It means a lot. Thank you for all the support. And thank you so much for being there, my friend Dowes. I know you've left, but thank you so much for being there, my friend PC. Thank you so much for being there, my friend Tuna. Thank you so much for being there, my friend. I think that is it. Thank you, gentlemen. I'll see you on Saturday. Till then, stay blessed and have a great day. Bye-bye.